So, as what have this text says that for both plated service and traditional service, the staff from the two tables next to each other will work together as a team. So, this will happen throughout the room. The pair work together to serve one of the tables completely and then will assist each other completely serve the other table. So, the pair would work together so that the tables will completely be prepared and then ang usa mo assist siya sa other table so that it would be complete also. The alternative is for a larger group of staff to work as a team, serving one table completely at a time before going on to the next. This is especially useful when plated service is being used for the food. So this water or this wave service is very useful when plated service is being used for the food. So the resulting effect of adapting these approaches is that the tables are served throughout the room over a period, but with each individual's tables service being completed quickly, wave service may also be used for events where guests are seated on a top table and springs. In this case, sections of the banquet tables are served before moving to another section of the table laid out. So the effects of adapting these approaches is that the tables are as what as what this text says that it is served throughout the room over a period, but with each individual's table service being completed quickly. So in this case, section of monkey tables are served before moving to another section of the table layout. So next, Carlton Club Service. This is used for both restaurant table service and for functions. Members of the service staff carry two plates from the kitchen, one in each hand with the hands crossed, which makes for steady carrying. On reaching the table, one member of staff stands between each two guests. When a signal is given, all members of staff bend forward and across their arms and place two plates simultaneously in front of two guests, one plate to the left and one to the right. Care is also taken to ensure that the plated foods are placed so that the food items are consistently in the same position for all the guests. So this is used for both restaurant table and for functions. Members of the services staff in this restaurant would carry two plates from the kitchen, one each other hand, and with the hands crossed, which makes for steady carrying. So like kanisha is ang staff is ga-carry siya og or gadala siya og duha ka plates from the kitchen. Ang usa kay nasa pikas kamot and then ang usa is cross siya so that pag 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 serve niya is like steady siya. And on reaching the table, one member of staff stands between each two guests. So if maabot na sila sa table, one of the members of the stands of the staff stands between each other two guests will reach the table. When a signal is given, all members of staff bend forward. If there is a signal, then all members of the staff bend forward and then they uncross their arms and place the two plates simultaneously in front of two guests. One plate to the left and one to the right. And also, care is also taken to ensure that the plated foods are placed so that the food items are consistently in the same position for all the guests. So this is the Carl Club service in the kanang left. Next, buffet. There are three types of buffet: finger buffet, fork buffets, display buffets. So in these finger buffets, the guests select and consume the food with their fingers. In this fork buffet, the guests select foods that are transferred onto a plate and they then eat the food using only a fork. Display buffet. The guests select their food and then a, eat at a table. So when we say about finger buffet, they consume their food with their fingers or like kinamot. And then the fork buffet is like kuan. They eat their food using only a fork. Display buffet, the guests select their food and then eat at a table. So it is so understandable. Staff organization. The general consideration for service staff for events are given below. Number one, a waiter at a banquet is generally expected to serve between 10 and 12 covers on a station, but this may be up to 20 depending on the service organization. Next is a wine waiter will serve approximately 25 covers, but this depends on the type of event, the number of wines on offers, and whether any wine is inclusive in the price of the menu or if cash drinks are being served. The wine waiters will also often assist the food waiters with the service of vegetables and sauces for the main course. Next is the wine waiters may also be required to serve aperitifs at the reception before a meal. If so, they will be required to do the necessary mise en place or establishment to ensure the reception area is ready. For example, ashtrays were allowed cocktail, snack setting up of portable bar and polishing glasses. So when we say about waiter, they are the common stuff that we could see in a event. So these are the general considerations for service staff for events are that are given on which we could see to the staff that we could see on an event. So the first is a waiter at a banquet is generally expected to serve between 10 and 12 covers on a station, but this may be up to 20 depending on the service organization. So they are expected to serve 10 and 12 covers on the station and mo abot po ni siya 20 but depende sa organization sa ilang serbisyo. Next is a wine waiter will serve approximately 25 covers, but this depends on the type of event, the number of wines on offer, and whether any wine is inclusive in the price of the menu or if the cash drinks are being served. The wine waiters will also often assist the food waiters with the service of vegetable and sauces of the main course. So, ang wine waiter or katong mga staff nga kita gali na to nga mga waiter nga mag-bring og wine, they would approximately serve 25 covers but depende na siya sa event jud the number of wines on offer and whether any wine is inclusive in the price of the menu or if cash drinks are being served. The wine waiters will also often assist the food waiters with the service of vegetables and sauces for the main course. So they are also assigned to assist the the service of vegetables and sauces for the main course. Next is the wine waiters may also be required to be served aperitifs at a session before a meal. So this mean that before a meal, like kanagaling na event and then magtanga galita, 'di ba? Di sila ganan nga wala tayo gibuhat so like they bring cocktails, snacks, setting up portable bar and polishing glasses. So like they bring all this so that malingaw tag usap-usap. When cash wine and drinks are served to the wine waiters are normally given a float with which they may pay the cashier or bar person as drinks are ordered and collected from the bar. The responsibility then rests with the wine waiter to collect the payments for any drink served. Using white gloves. In some establishments, members of staff wear white cotton gloves when carrying out various preparation tasks. The gloves help to prevent the soiling of clean service items and also avoid putting finger marks on clean and polished service equipment. White gloves may also be used during service instead of service cloths when serving plated foods that are presented on hot plates. If white gloves are to be used, then there must be clean edge on the plate so that the food or sauces on the plates do not easily soil the gloves. So, as a staff or as a waiter, it is so common to use gloves, especially white gloves kay makita kita nga na is like neat kay siya lang taon, limpyo kayo lang taon. So like ang imong mga customers inganyo sa kuan sa inyong organization gani or like sa inyong restaurant ba or anything nga about ana kay it is so helpful to use gloves because it would help prevent the soiling of clean service items and also avoid putting finger marks on clean and polished service equipment. So like kuan, if magamit og gloves, dili jud siya mulamak ang imong marks if ever mo touch ka sa utensils, sa plates or etc. So importante jud ni nila ang mag-use og white gloves. Allocating stations. When all the necessary missing places has been completed and all the staffs are assembled together, the stations are allocated to the waiters and wine waiters. More experienced and proficient members of staff are usually allocated to the top table. The waiters brigade should queue you up in an orderly fashion on the hot plate for each course, with the waiter for the top table at the head of the queue. The various waiters of teams then queue you in order according to the distance of their station from the service hot plate. This order must be maintained throughout the service. After the service of each course, the brigade should remain outside the banqueting room in readiness to clear and serve the next course. Stop Staff instruction event sheets. Wait, so allocating stations if all the important establishments is na kumpleto na and mga tanang kuan gani mga staff are na-assemble na sila together or like complete na sila. So the station are allocated to waiters and wine waiter. So the station are ready to be distributed to the waiters and wine. More experienced and proficient members of staff are usually allocated to the top table. So they are most commonly allocated to the top table. The waiters or brigade should queue you up in an orderly fashion and hot plate for each course, with the waiter for the top table, the head of the queue. So the waiters would queue you up in orderly fashion and hot plate for each course. So kanang sa Oscar event nga kana giling plastada kay ilang mga ilang mga main course, mga side dishes, like ingana gani. So like usa po na siya sa kuan pasabot diri sa allocating stations or like kanang kuan pag-distribute na sa mga food sa usa ka stasyon. Staff's instruction event sheets. Staff instruction event sheets are provided for each event. These sheets give detailed instruction for all staff working on the event. Their purpose is to ensure that all the required duties are covered, that a particular event is laid up correctly, and everything is in order in the shortest possible time, and to provide guidance to casual staff. So it is very important to be aware of all the rules and regulation when you are a staff. You must know the instruction or the event sheets of an organization so that dili magka sayop-sayop ang usa ka event kay if naay usa nga kulang diha magka kuan na sad magkagubot and naay mga kulang-kulang so like dili maengganyo or dili ganahan ang serbisyo sa customers nimo so like na jud na sila instruction or like event sheets So like three forms of address. For all events, formal and informal etiquette is very important. Great care should be taken to ensure the correct forms of address are used to suit the occasion. Very formal events, royalty or dignitaries may be attending as a guest. Etiquette therefore demands a certain order of precedence when proposing, replying to toast, and the correct mode of address should be adhered to. For all events, formal or informal, etiquette is very important and great care should be taken to the ensure the correct forms of address are used to suit the occasion. So like before ga high school ta ka nang naay kuan naay prom gani is gi tudloan man talaga proper etiquette. So kato siya importante kina siya especially sa mga occasion kay fit kina siya dito. And at very formal events, royalty or other dignitaries may be attending as guests. Etiquette therefore demands a certain order of precedence when proposing and replying to toast, and the correct mode of address should be adhered to. So this is a note. Formality is always followed on occasions involving members of the royal family. So kanang formality, especially mga royal family, formality is always followed on occasions. Gina-kuan na nila, culture ba, gina-exercise. The social forms of address are given for peers, baronets, and knights. For details related to more formal events, debates, peerage, and baronetage or the correct form should be consulted. So these are the social forms of address are given for peers. So like mga kuan, mga dagkugrong ko gani. Like they would have to be formal. The royalty listed table 11.1 are shown in order of precedence. So these are the precedence and forms of address. So royalty ni siya, monarch, introduction, his or her majesty, the king, queen, your majesty, and subsequently, sir, ma'am. So if you're a staff and then you have to meet someone on a occasion and then you meet monarch, royal prince, royal princess, royal duke. So like these are the introduction, his or her majesty, king, queen, his royal highness, prince. So if you if you have to address them by respecting them because that is the way of formality. Peers, baronets and knights, duke, duchess, earl, countess, viscountess, government members, the clergy, local government. So like that is the proper way on how you address things as it is. The loyal toast. At any formal event, it is common for the loyal toast to be made. The toastmaster generally announces this toast as soon as this sweet course has been cleared, but before the coffee tea is to be served off, should ensure before this time that all glasses have been charged up in readiness for the coming toast. So, mga kuan man ni mga dato gani maka-experience ano mag-toast, like it is so common for them and it is a formal event. Like the toast master generally announces this toast as soon as the sweet course has been cleared. Like before sa sweet course or sa sweet food nga urot. But before ana nila kanang mga staff ila dyan na sigurado nga tanang glasses kay inaadyo na sa taas or like sa ni nakakulob para sa ready nga pag-toast. Nakakulob na siya or like nakatindog na di ay. The loyal toast should be announced by the toastmaster and is then normally proposed by the host for the evening. For example, the chairman or president of an association, the loyal toast is to toast to the reigning monarch, the king and queen. So the loyal toast should be announced by toastmaster and is then normally proposed by the host for the evening. So like ang mga loyal toast, example is mga chairman, president, association. Like ang ilang toast is a toast to the reigning monarch or the king, queen. Common na kay ni siya sa mga salida. Like let's toast for the victory of our Charva Chares mga na gani. So example of an order of service for formal event. So this is the example. Number one, the toastmaster announces the luncheon or dinner. Number two, guests proceed to their places in the room. Grace or some other prayer is sometimes said before guests are seated. Chairs pulled out by waiters. The waiters place napkins across the guest laps. Water and first wine is served. Seven, if first course is not already on the table, proceed to hot plate to collect first course. Eight, line up according to the conventional system. Nine, serve first course. Top table waiter to commence service first. Number 10, award waiters food to leave room after each course is served. Number 11, take in fish course plates. Number 12, clear fish first course, second wine is served. 14, lay fish plates. 15, take out dirties and collect fish course. Number 16, serve fish course. Number 17, take in meat plates. 18, third wine is served, clear fish course, lay meat plates, and etc. So note the order of service on the top table at functions, especially very formal occasions, is the one time when the host might be served first or at exactly the same time as the guest of honor. Should they be seated on different stations at formal events, there may be speeches and toasts. This often takes place at the end of the meal. However, it has become more common for these to take place at different times during the meal. The head waiter will control all the food waiters at the hot plate, although variations in this service may be adapted according to the situation. The head waiter also controls the exit from the hot plate into the banqueting room. Ordering of drinks and wines. If required, a bar must be set up in the reception area away from the main entrance so as to avoid overcrowding in one area as guests are arriving and being announced by the toastmaster. The bar should be clothed up as a buffet with a cloth within 1.3 to 1.5 inches from the ground in the front and with both ends box. Keep the rear of the bar open so it may be used for storing extra supplies of drink glasses and any necessary equipment such as glass, jug, soda, siphons, extra ice, and so on. So all of these are the ordering of drinks and wines. So this is a must. So like it is necessary to be aware of this when you order stuff. When the drinks are to be served on a cash basis, this can be very often be a lengthy process. To speed this up, there should be wine waiters on duty near the table plan in the reception area together with commission. They should have menus, wine list, check pads, table plan, list of station, wine waiter's name. So the objective here is to get as many orders as possible for wine to accompany the meal prior to meal service commencing. So as what I have understand in this text is that they should have menus, wine list, check pads, etc. So that kanang pag-process ana is dugay ba kayo siya mao man if like kanang magtalay gani. So there should be this one table plan list of station and waiter's name so that madali ang process niya kay magpili-pili pa ka mga list nga na gani. Like na table plan. The order should be written in duplicate with the guest name at the top of the deck. Check to assist in identifying customers' orders at the tables. One copy should go to the seller dispense bar and duplicate to the correct wine waiter. The order should be prepared by the dispense barman or cellarman, and when the wine waiter shows the duplicate, he should be given the required order. Do not open the wine until the guests arrive at the table. This avoids wastage of the wrong wine is presented. So as so the order should be written and duplicate with the guest stop. So dapat jud nga kuan ang mga guests is like ang ilang name is na like example kuan sponsor ka. So of course if sponsor ka na dyan ay name ni mo nga naka-serve diya or like naka-reserve ana diya dira nga butang nga especially when it comes to like ordering wine, red wine and etc. So na nata sa weddings. So wedding celebrations are usually of two main types. So like na wedding breakfast, wedding reception buffet. At the initial meeting between the client and the banqueting manager to arrange a wedding breakfast reception, the approaches are similar to those detailed. So if kani is most commonly man ni siya sa kuan sa depende man ning kuan wedding breakfast and wedding reception may tabo. Like if wedding breakfast pa like before sa kasal na kuan na kaning pamahaw then pagpaniud to na na reception. The requirements of the client will be depend on the type of wedding breakfast reception, number of guests attending, and the cost per head to be paid. The type of wedding, civil or religious, will also affect the arrangements and applications for the specific requirements for the wedding breakfast reception. Some additional consideration are requirements concerning a wedding cake, stand, and knife. Whether a room should be available for the bride and bridegroom to change prior to leaving the breakfast reception to go on their honeymoon, whether the wedding presents will be displayed, and if so, how much space will be needed, and whether the service of photographer will be required. The menu may be printed in server together with the names of the couple and date, as the menus are often kept as souvenirs for a wedding. The content of menu beverages will be affected by cultural, religious, dietary influences, as well as any special dietary needs. So like these are kuan requirements nga like kani siya is mga requirements ni siya and it depends sa client if unsa yang ganahan civil or religious kanang sa iyang photography sa iyang kuan breakfast or reception and etc. Like kailangan jud ni siya and depende pod sa client. So wedding breakfast banquet. When the wedding breakfast is to be a formal banquet, then the details given in section 4 will apply. This includes the same consideration for seating arrangement, table plans, table layouts, clothing up, service organization, staff organization, order of service. Additionally, time and venue of the wedding, ceremony, due arrival, time and venue is providing the wedding cake stand. So like. mm, When the wedding breakfast is to be formal banquet, then the details given in section will apply. So if formal na siya, and so this seating arrangement, tables plans, would be necessarily in addition to the customary toast will be usually be need to organize the cutting of the wedding cake at the end of the meal after the tea coffee has been served. So like kanisha is kuan like if mato ka sa kasal like paklaro jud ni mga organize kayo ang usa ka event especially kanang sa kuan wedding breakfast like it is need to be formal. Wedding reception buffet. So kaning wedding reception buffet muna ni kanang sa reception muna siya yung mga kinahanglan gani nga buhaton sa usa ka organizer nga dapat ingunaan ni dinhi siya like placed in such a position that is view to all guests like kanang pag-enter nila sa room. And then the buffet should be cloth up so that buffet cloth reaches 1.3 centimeter or 1/2 inch. And then if the breakfast is being carried out in a marquee in private grounds, the ground is normally boarded or covered with canvas or from corded matting. Service of food sh- should be presented appetizingly and attractively in a buffet with a cutlery and cutter manner conveniently near the service point. Food offered replenished in the buffet should be close to the hand. The center of the buffet may be raised in order to show off the dishes to greater effect. So like the service of food, they must serve the food properly. Service of tea and coffee, they must serve it necessary nga kuan jud siya include na siya teacups, saucers, teaspoon, sugar, and etc. Service of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks dapat bugnaw, dapat complete nga na. But depende lang siya sa client jud. As an alternative, buffet itself may be used entirely for displaying the food, and separate service points may be set up for the service of beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. This depends upon the exact nature of the function, the room available, number of guests, requirements of the client, and the type of amount of drinks to be served. As an alternative, the buffet itself may be used entirely for displaying the food, and separate service points may be set up for the service of beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. This depends upon the exact nature of the function and the room available, number of guests, requirements of the client, and the type and amount of drinks to be served. So, floral arrangement. The floral arrangement are an important aspect of decoration and show off the room to best effect. So like kanang so like kanang sa kasal gani um this is the most important aspect of the decoration and help show off the room to be the best effect. So like kana galing ay ganahan man to ni magkapakasal noon ay char. Bitaw ka na galing sa usa ka kasal if like kana mosulod sa simbahan. Di ba pag sulod din sa simbahan is like klaro jud kay ng kuan mga flowers natoy kuan video sa TikTok nga baling tin-awa jud kaayo kanang bulak then nay reflection sa lalom nga tsada jud kaayo. Like dapat jud kinahanglan jud nga arrange jud ang mga bulak jud kay necessary din na siya. The wedding cake. So like the wedding cake um di ba common naman jud ng ginakuha nila na nay sa ni nay part sa ceremony or like sa program nga after reception is like ilang kuan kanang ipakita unsa katsada ang ilang wedding cake like daghan kay mag picture gani Kay kana siya is used as a separate focal point away from the buffet and should be placed upon its stand with a knife and a special tablecloth for the purpose. So like common jud kay siya sa kwan, mostly sa mga kasal nga formal kay lantahon like na cake. And we know unsa jud padulungan na ng cake is like ilan ng nay part sa program nga katong slice nila nakabantay ko ato. Arrangement of the room. So like kanang arrangement of the room sa event place daghang gina diri sa kuan sa sa ni sa Dumaguete or sa Negros nga kanang event place like sa kuan Brooks Place sa hotel and daghan kina siya diri. So like occasion tables should be placed at regular intervals around the room and cloth up in a suitable manner. So all of these must be necessarily performed on a event, especially um to satisfy our customer, like very presentable. So it must be very necessary to have this arrangement of the room. Other requirements no kani siya na nadiri makita ang kuan nag-slice na sila photography or like kanang sa photo booth like one of the souvenirs is like kanang sa photo booth and dependent na siya sa client. And also photography is very important like memories sa inyong kasal, di ba? So staffing, the member of staff required will depend on the nature and requirements of a particular event as a guide at a buffet type reception. The following staffing would be required. So kuan, brigade, one head waiter, one waiter to every 25, 30 covers, one wine waiter to every 40 covers, one barman to every three wine gate waiters, one to two commis for fetching, one chef to every 35, 40 guests for service. So, procedure at wedding buffet reception. So, muna siya yung mga procedure wedding buffet reception. So, muna siya tanan ang mga di na ako siya explain kita as kaayo siya. Wala na akong lisod ko siya i-summarize. So, this is all the procedure at the wedding buffet reception. So, I'm gonna send a file naman. So, like, maka-study mo. So, this is the procedure nga kinahanglan jud sa wedding buffet reception nga aron ma-satisfy ang customer o ang client, 'di ba? Kana siya kana 11 siya ka buok. So kani family line up to greet guests at a wedding breakfast or wedding reception. So approach A, Toastmaster, entrance, Toastmaster and entrance, bride's mother, bride's father, bride's groom mother. So muni siya jud ang line up gani. Line up and a very important person nga gikinahanglan sa wedding breakfast or sa wedding reception. And there's a note. The best man is responsible for ensuring that everyone leaves the place where the wedding or ceremony has taken place and that no one is left behind. He therefore does not always arrive in time for the beginning of the reception. So, kanang best man is very responsible nga there would never there will never left behind. So he therefore does not always arrive in time in the beginning of the reception. Di siya maguna-una. Bahala gutomon ka, di jud ka maguna-una kay ikaw may best man. Alright? Table arrangement for the top table at a wedding. Below is the general arrangement for the seating for the top table looking for the front of the table left right. So muna siya ang table arrangement for the top at the wedding. So these are all the general arrangement for the seating of the table. So mag-una dyan ang best man, nara diya groom's mother, groom's father, bride, bridegroom, bride's mother, groom's father, matron of honor, principal, bridesmaid. So procedure for toast a wedding method. A. Cutting of the cake. While it is being cut, the best man may read out telegrams, pass the cake and champagne all the time before it, toast, and etc. So like most common na dyan ni siya nato nga makitaan gani sa kuan sa kasal. Like mo dyan ni siya procedure for a toast at a wedding. Like understandable na ba siya, di ba? And then kani method B, pass the champagne all the time for toast and etc. So outdoor catering of premises catering. So these are the catering. Wait, so second to the last na data. Wait sa wala na ako na-appeal dun sa nadiretso siya diri. So these are all the necessary things that a caterer must do when he or she or it organize an event. So type of event, date of event, any special liquor or other licenses or permission required and when to be applied for and receive site and distance from the pod premises, local transport, local commodity purchase, staff requirement, layout of site, and etc. Each outdoor catering operation is different, and so the main points to be noted during the initial survey will vary. From the basically shown above, it is clear that organization beforehand is the key to success. The person in charge needs to be decisive, quick thinking, able to command, adaptable to varying situations and circumstances, and above all, need to have the respect to the staff working under the team. The majority staff employed at outdoor catering events are taking on as a casual staff. This involves a high administration load for the organizers and also the scrutiny checks of the staff must be very thorough to ensure the quality of the personnel. So like each outdoor catering operation is very different. And so there is the main points nga kailangan jud nga kuan mahibaw-an during sa kuan initial survey and it will be very important because it vary from the very basically shown above. It is clear that organization beforehand is the key to success. So like these are all the organization. So if you manage to have this one organization and it would be the key to success. So the person in charge, of course, he or she must be decisive, quick thinking, able to command, adaptable to varying situations and circumstances, and above all, needs to have the respect of the staff working under the team. Of course, importante kay ng pagrespeto sa mga staff, especially like kanang galing mga staff. Importante kay na sila kay dili ma-successful ang usa ka cater if wala na sila, 'di ba? And also this involves a high administration of organized also scrutiny, checks of this very thorough to ensure the quality of the personnel. The organization of the outdoor catering events must be very thorough too. So of course, very thorough. They must be very thorough because once on site, it is often very virtually impossible to rectify errors. Any item forgotten or not packed on the transport will have to be gone without, 'di ba? So this can affect the success of the event and can also damage the reputation of the service provider. So this is the procedure at a wedding buffet reception. So that is the end of my report, of our report. Thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate you all. God bless.